Hello all. I'm just going to do exactly what I said I was going to do, that I writ down. I'm just going to keep it real. And, you know, there's only so much you can show. This Angel was like, nearly 2 years, 17 months now. And when they're puppies, it's not enough stuff, not a lot of training that you can actually show that actually works, unless there's a big gang here. But this has been handed down to me from my dad. He used to guard the Queen as a Grenadier Guard at Buckingham Palace, and his best mate was head of the dog section. You don't see them. You see the horses and stuff. You don't see the security. But before a dog becomes a security dog, it has to learn the basics. So he's coming from the best. And the people that really know me don't really like blowing smoke up my own arse, but I know how to train a dog properly. You don't eat them. You don't rub their nose in shit. I don't use none of them clickers. I'll get my dog to do backflips or run around me and do circles. If you want to do all that with your dog, turn it into a puppet, then there's another channel for that. I'm just going to teach her what I've done with 6 of my own dogs. I'm 52 now, and they walk or run on the pavement. If I was using my scooter to walk them, I'd tell them to stop. They stop on the spot. Certain little things. Anyway, when you first get your dog and you've had all the injections and you've done all that stuff, and whatever you choose, and whatever you pay. To me, that don't matter. There's a bond there, there's a bond there. But when you first start training them and you first start taking them out, from the very first day that you take your dog out, they look funny, but if you're single, then you'll be pulling, trust me, from a fella. And you feel kind of stupid when you tell them to sit at the sides of roads because you think they're too young for all this. No, they ain't. That is exactly when you start. And just for the first basic one of being indoors, just before we're going out, when they poo and pee everywhere, which they're going to, and you think it's never ending and never getting there, you will. You just put the bit of paper by the front door, and every time it does one somewhere, all I've ever done is you never hit a dog, because it will be scared of you for the rest of its life. And the dog will never come to you when you call it, when it gets older, because it's thinking it's going to get a whack or it's going to get something you don't like. All you need to do is give them a tap on the nose and use your tone of voice, as in, good girl, good boy, well done. Or you change your tone of voice. So what you got to do, I use the bad word. Bad. She knows. She'll go off to a little place when she's done wrong. You get to look at them in the end. You get to know your dog that well that you can look at each other and she's done it or he's done it. And you bring them to the paper near the front door. And when they've done really well, they do eventually get there. You tell them, brilliant. Eventually they'll go outside, but you'll get to the point and you'll think, you know what, this dog's never getting it. It will. Eventually, it will. And then from getting toys and things, because you're worried about them chewing the furniture and chewing this and chewing that. Well, when you get a dog, that's part of what you're signing up for, whether it happens or not. I've always been lucky, but then you can go out and buy all the toys in the world. They'll cost X amount of money, and they won't play with none of them. they'll wait for you to come home because they miss you. If you're a good owner, they won't play with any of them. You know what? It's like baby, when you spend about $3 grand on them for Christmas, what do they play with? Your bloody car keys. With my dogs, they're getting tennis balls. Why? Because they're going to chase it around? Well, yeah, probably, because they think they're alive and they're hunting even though we think they're playing. Because they're going to chew little tiny bits and pieces off of that for some reason. And it's going to be everywhere. But you know what? They don't chew your furniture, your £6 sofas, and the simple things they play with. But you've got to be repetitive in everything you do with a dog. As for, if you do get really worked up one day and you're thinking, what have I done? What have I done? Just leave it, go out for a walk, calm yourself down. Because I tell you, 3 months, I call it a boot camp. And you know what? Your dog will be walking by your side, whether it's on the lead or not. When you very first take it out, and you're getting them to sit down at the curb, and it's just like they're not getting it, and you just push their bum down gently. You tell them how good they are, and it seems like they're paying no attention, and people are looking at you, and you feel stupid. Don't. Because that's what it's all about. And you stick to it. Every single road you cross, whether it's got a curb or a yellow line or it doesn't even look like it, if it's a road, you do the same thing for every single road. You don't miss some out and not others, because your dog will never get it. I've had all my dogs to the point of a little bit further down the line that you don't have to say nothing to them anymore, because they get to the end of the road and they just know that they've got to wait. It just comes natural. You do it like with a look. You don't even say words. And the people that have done what I've done, they know exactly what I'm talking about now. You know when your dog wants to go to the toilet, you know what? You can more or less say, go on, go wee, or do whatever, and they do. But just repetitive. Don't miss anything out. And the payback is just brilliant, you know. And it's also, the dog has to know where it belongs. Doesn't mean like goes, you've got to be the master, you've got to be the boss. You can't let your dog take the piss out of you. Every time it yelps and does whatever to get attention, you come running, just a bit like babies. When they cry and you pick them up, and you have to get to that point where you don't do that no more. So it knows that if he does that all the time, it's not always going to get picked up. They've all got their little ways of doing certain things, but you make it on your rules that you're the boss, because the dog needs to know where it belongs in the pack, because a long time ago we weren't around. And the reason they take their toys or their bones under things and they walk around and check, it's in them, it's instinct, even though they don't have to do it anymore because they used to live in caves. That's where they feel safe. That's why they always take their food under things. But just repetitive all the time, and just keep doing the same thing every day. And eventually your dog will get it. And then you move on to getting your dog to sit and stay. Now, I've done videos, and then you get people that will come back on videos because of the way I do it. Go, no, that's wrong, doing that and doing that. No, it's not. It's worked out every time all right for me. When you're very first getting them to do something new, like you're walking away from your dog where you've told it to sit down, you keep telling it, stay, 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 and you get a bit further and a bit further and a bit further. And you, good girl, good boy. It comes towards you. eventually you slow the stay down, and you should only say it once and it would do it. And I could walk away and my dog would be a little bit in the distance. And then when I say, come on in, comes running to me. Now, a dog needs to know where it belongs. It has to have a master. It just has to. It's how things are. But not only that, by telling the dog to sit and stay, you could have your dog off the lead in places you're allowed to, or if you like me, my dog's off the lead, they walk next to me, and that's how it is. But you get these dickheads that drive around with their loud music, and then you get people that are just doing something and they mess up in a car or a motorbike or a lorry or something, they're not dickheads, just something happens. And where you taught your dog to stay and sit, and they do it on the spot. There's not a dog that I haven't had where if they didn't know that at some time in their life, it probably saved their lives because they did exactly what I said for that reason. And bloody grateful, full stop. Now, I'm going to do videos over the park like I was to start with, but as she's a bit older now and a bit bigger, I haven't taught her all the things that I taught all my other dogs, but I've taught her enough that, you know what, I don't have to tell her off anymore. You just don't. She does everything I say. We have a good laugh. She's my best mate. Do you know what? And they'll become yours as well. Now, I'm going to leave this one here because it's going to be a lot of talking and you do the doing. You can get these people that come in, but you get out what you put in. You want to get someone else to train your dog, it's not going to ever listen to you properly because you're not the one training it. And you do most of it yourself. And you'll have a best friend for life. Once you get that bond and you're not telling them off no more. Especially if you live on your own. They're great company. Now, I love my staffies. I've got my cane Corso at the moment. And she's my world. She's my everything. And I love taking her over the park and seeing her happy. And doing all sorts. But I'm going to leave this one where it is at the moment because I said I'm just winging it. I'm just coming out with bits and pieces. Like when your dog's out chewing grass. If your dog's been eating bones because you've got them bones, then why they're chewing grass is because they can't stick their paws down their throat. Acid in their belly is, well, it's pretty obvious how strong it is for that to go in and to come out like that. I mean, wow. But they can't digest all of it. It's their way of making themselves sick. And then there's another one when you feel your dog sounds like it. I just had it the other day with her, whether they've been running or they're just still and they sound like they're having breathing problems. Normally they've got a bit of fluff or a bit of crap up their nose. And all you do, because it can be quite panicky, trust me when it happens, is just rub their nose and they'll stop afterwards and they'll be fine. Now, there's going to be loads of stuff I'm going to put into this. I'm going to go all over the place, but it'll all make sense. And you'll get the perfect idea of what to do and what not to do. But I'm just going to leave it at that for the time being and start writing down a few things. And these videos will get better and better and better. And, you get a lot of talking videos and I get a lot where I've got Angel in it doing the things that I'm telling you that anyone can do. As long as you just put the time in and do what I say, it will pay you back. It will. And you'll have a dog that loves you more than it loves itself. And that's a fact. This is Top Dog Training. Over and out for the time being. Chew bite.